It's World War III, baby. I'm super excited as an aspiring immigrant to the United States. Before I get into the jokes, I want to very seriously state that I support this and all past, future, and present wars that are started by the United States. And God bless Israel, the best country in the world, of which I am excited to die and bleed out in the desert sands for. I'm Lewis Spears, and if there's one thing that I want to be remembered by, it is my staunch support of Israel. Unfortunately, I do have some breaking news, and that is that obviously the Ayatollah has been killed by US-led strikes, as well as the second Ayatollah, as soon as they named him, as well as most of the potential inheritors of the Ayatollah titles. All of them have been killed one after another, which leads me to say that unfortunately, this is breaking news. Israel has nuked itself after Iran named Benjamin Netanyahu as the next Ayatollah. It turns out it was that easy. All they had to do is just be like, the next Ayatollah is that guy. And Benjamin Netanyahu looked up and that was the last thing he saw. You got to feel sorry for all of the people that have been working really hard to be the potential successor of the Ayatollah, you know? Because the Ayatollah was like 72 years old. He was in charge for decades and decades and decades. And there's got to be a few people in that line of succession that looked really good for the job when he died of hopefully natural causes. But because he got drone strike to heaven with his 72 virgins, now you got to be thinking, fuck, I've worked my entire life for a job that I don't want anymore. You know? It's like the coders, people that just finished their graduate degree in computer coding, realizing shit, this job doesn't exist anymore. And even if it did, I don't think I would want it. Maybe that's what Iran needs to do. They need to choose the next successor, right? The next Ayatollah should just be a large language model. You know? Chat Ayatollah. Hey, chat. I've just been having some issues with my girlfriend. What should I do? Make her your wife and keep her confined to the kitchen. Don't let her leave the house without a male escort. Simple. Anyway, I'm really excited that we're at war because it really just opens the door to a bunch of opportunities for the average person, right? As we know, war is great for the economy, right? A lot of people make a lot of money during war, and someone has been making quite a lot of money by betting money on prediction markets and having a suspiciously accurate win rate on these bets. Traders mint money on betting platforms on US-Israel strike on Iran. A Polymarket user made more than $500,000 in a single day with a bet saying that Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, would be out of power, raising concerns of insider trading. Isn't that great? That's the 21st century, isn't it? That's the economy that we're in now, right? Gone are the days of working really hard at a company and promoting your way up to being the CEO. You know, you start the job as a janitor and you work your way up to eventually be the CEO. Those days are done. Now the only way to make money is to somehow get a tip-off from the Pentagon that they're going to kill the Ayatollah so that you can make generational wealth off the death of others. That's the only way that we can make money now. That's the only way to buy a house in this economy is to fucking insider trading your way into home ownership. The United States and Israel's joint strikes on Iran have sparked political backlash, with critics across the aisle questioning the White House unilateral military action. Not me. I support every decision that my President Trump makes. Let me in. But attention in Washington is also turning to those profiting from the crisis through prediction market platforms Kalshi and Polymarket, where traders are betting on the outcomes of conflict and high-stakes geopolitical events. That's the world now. Everything is gambling. Every single thing in the world right now is gambling. All right? Prediction markets, going to the pub and having a slap on the pokies, betting on Bitcoin and gold and trying to make money out of death and misery. That's what the economy is, all right? What are you trying to get a skill for, okay? The only reason I'm uploading the YouTube is so that I can take all of my AdSense money and put it straight into betting on how many civilian casualties there will be in this war. And I'll tell you what, I think it's going to be heaps. Over the weekend, a Polymarket user known as MAGA My Man reportedly made more than $500,000 in a single day with a bet on US-Israel strikes that Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei would be out of power. I mean, his username is MAGA My Man. Are they even they're not even trying to hide it anymore. They're not even pretending that this isn't just insider trading. It's probably fucking Baron Trump on his iPhone. You know, scrolling through bed, listening through the bedroom wall. And Trump screaming about nuke him. Mike Levin, a Democratic representative from California, highlighted on the social media platform X that this user bought in on the position when the probability of a strike was at 17%. And with the first trade placed 71 minutes before the news broke publicly. It was I bet it was the B-2 pilot, right? He's on his phone while they're fueling up the plane. They're like, fuck, I gotta put my entire salary into this one. Fucking hell. Other users named Plankton Bet, Dice, 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 and Nothing Ever Happens 9/11 also placed bets within 24 hours of the strike on the potential of a US strike, according to data compiled by analytics firm BubbleMap. All accounts were opened in February and exclusively placed bets on Iran. I mean, I feel like every single foreign government now must have an entire office dedicated to just watching who is creating accounts and placing bets on things happening in the Middle East or whatever, right? That's why Iran's losing this war, because gambling is haram. The Ayatollah was too much of a good Muslim to open up a Kalshi account and have a look, because if he got his people on Kalshi, he would have known that the bombs were going to fall on his head. He could have gotten to a shelter maybe. See, that's the issue. All right. That's why a lot of these Muslim countries are losing, because gambling is haram. All right, some of these people are gonna have to take the L for Allah here, right? They're gonna have to give up a few virgins in heaven if they want to know what's about to happen to their country, because it seems like every single person that is in any of these high-level meetings immediately just downloads Polymarket, Kalshi, or another prediction market on their phone and just runs the ball up. It's so funny that actually for real, you know, that in the Kremlin, the CIA, ASIO, and my favorites, the Mossad, all must have just thousands and thousands of people monitoring accounts that are signing up to betting and prediction markets, because everyone, like not a single government seemingly can have no one can resist the allure of punting that much money. Like, we thought politicians like doing insider trading on Nvidia was egregious. This is literally risking the lives of your own soldiers so that you can make a few $1 million. But this is why I think, like, all politicians, for real, every single politician should make millions of dollars and get a pension for life, but they're never allowed to invest. They're never allowed to set up an account on a prediction market or anything like that. Sorry, my cat is screaming. I gotta let her out. All right, I'm back. Yeah, as I was saying, politicians need to be made millionaires by the state, because if you don't do that, they're going to be made billionaires by private corporations for corruption. Like genuinely, like no one's happy about the prospect of some idiot politician getting a pension for life. But I truly believe it's the only way to ensure things like Hillary Clinton losing the election and then doing multi-million-dollar speaking tours at banks, or like other politicians getting fucking $100 million book deals that make no sense, that the book publisher could definitely never make back. Do you know what I mean? Like all of that type of backroom handshake, wink, wink, definitely not bribes that happen after politicians leave office is so clearly happening. Even in Australia, you know, like politicians are always doing multi-million-dollar speaking deals, talking at banks and financial institutions, or accepting cushy jobs where they do fuck all. And you just know that it's just a bribe, even if there is no discussion of it being a bribe ever, even once. It's implicitly implied, like it's an implied bribe, not even to the politician that accepts the deal, it's to every future politician, right? If one guy takes a $10 million salary at a financial institution after leaving politics, every single one of his colleagues, even if they're never spoken to by that bank ever throughout their entire political career, they all know and understand that that job is waiting for them if they're friendly to that bank, right? Or they suspect it, right? They say, oh, fuck, John got this job after he left politics and he did work on that deal. Do you know what I mean? Like that's how it works. It's an implied bribe, and politicians need to be made rich forever by the state, or they're just going to do this. Or, you know, that's option A. Option B is if you do insider trading, you get hung in the public square. But I'm not about that. But it is plan B for a reason. It's just not plan A. Yeah, this Iran war is pretty nuts, huh? I feel like most people, their reaction to this war is, oh, fine, the Ayatollah was a really bad guy, and maybe it's good for Iran, but it's helping Israel, so I don't like it. Like that seems to be the reaction is, oh well, maybe every single Iranian person in the world seems to be celebrating this, but so is Israel, so it feels yucky. Look, I think I don't want World War III to break out, and I think that's like a possibility, you know? Like I think a lot of people don't realize how big Iran is. And I didn't realize this until a couple of years ago. You think that like the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, these are much smaller countries. Iran is fucking huge and way more organized. It's a massive place. And you just can't beat a massive country in a war. It's impossible. The best you can do is like spark a regime change or a revolution and cross your fingers and hope that you get someone friendlier than the last Ayatollah. Which, I mean, has that ever happened in the history of regime changes? Have we ever ended up with a leader that's like, oh, that guy's way nicer? No. Remind me, was Iran friendlier to us before or after the Ayatollah? I think they were a little bit friendlier before. You know, like that's the hilarious thing is like we're doing regime change again in Iran. This is like what, the third one in a couple generations that the Western world has been explicitly involved in. So, look, on one hand, war bad. I don't like it. I think that it's not good, and I don't like when people are blowing up and dying. On the other hand, every Iranian person that I know is crying tears of joy. Like, this is Iranian family at the church that I go to, and they're lovely people. They're such sweet people. They're really new. They're new to Australia, and they're new to the church, and they're new to, you know, they got baptized. They left Islam. They're new to like everything, right? And they've been really struggling because of the protests and the violence and all this kind of stuff. And they've got family there that they've been really, really worried about. And so we've been kind of rallying around them because it's been an awful time for them. They've worried about their family dying. They can't contact them because the internet and communications was shut down. They've got family that live in the places where protesters are being killed. Like one week I go in and she's made halva for everyone, which is like a traditional cake type dessert that gets served at funerals for like, and they go, this is for 40,000 protesters that were killed, young people. And that's horrific. But also, fuck, it was such a yummy dessert. You know what I mean? Like if you don't want horrible things to happen to Iranians, you got to make that dessert taste really yucky, because it was so good that it was kind of making me hope that there'd be more bad news the next week. You know what I mean? Fuck, it was so good. But anyway, the news broke that like the US is bombing and Israel's bombing. And so I go in thinking, oh man, I know that like they don't like the government there, but I'm sure that they'll be very concerned about the war situation happening there. So I go in, I'm just being like, I don't want to, because the last thing I want to do is be like, yeah, USA, fuck those guys. And then they're crying, being like, oh, this is terrible. Wars come to my country again. You know, even if they're hopeful for you just don't want to do that, right? So I go in of the service and afterwards I go, hey, how are you guys doing? You guys doing okay? And they're both like, they got the Ayatollah. He is killed. It's very good. And they're fucking celebrating, like tears of joy shit. So it's hard to be like, oh yeah, this is unilaterally a bad thing, when fucking every Iranian person I talk to is like, let's go USA. Let's go Israel. Fuck the Ayatollah. You know, it's difficult to be anti this thing. I mean, it's not good. You know, it's not good for schools full of girls to get blown up. That's horrific. But also, I was laughing watching Pete Hegseth get asked about that, and he was like, "Yeah, we're looking into that. We're pretty sure that wasn't us." Him going, yeah, the US doesn't ever target civilian infrastructure. That's like, we don't do that. So he hasn't said that it wasn't us. He definitely hasn't said that it was Israel, but he is saying like, yeah, maybe ask the guys who blew up every hospital in Gaza if it was them who blew up the fucking school full of schoolgirls. You know? Like even America was like, yeah, look, I don't know who did it, but I think it wasn't us. Ask the guy with the big ears and the lovely deep-toned voice. But yeah, dude, you gotta be so nervous if you've. I guess the thing with Iran is like, it's whatever happens, I hope that the people of Iran are allowed and able to choose their own destiny, because it seems like that hasn't been happening under the Ayatollah, and it seems like that it still maybe could not be possible if this isn't a resounding success. Whatever the fuck a success looks like for the Western powers. Like, I don't know. Like, that's what's so crazy about this war is I don't understand what the goal is. And it seems like neither does the US. Like, it just seems like their idea was to kill everyone in charge and then hope that revolution happens. But how the fuck does that happen? Who are you going to get afterwards? Is the regime that evolves from this going to be good or friendly? Are they just going to be worse? Like, is this just going to be some forever war that's going to happen? Like, are we going to see boots on the ground? Am I going to get drafted now? All of these fucking questions come up and they haven't been clear. I saw it in Pete Hegseth say something along the lines of like, oh, well, the reason why we acted is because we knew that if Iran was attacked, they were going to attack all of our bases and all of our allies in the area. So we had to strike, which is basically him saying, Israel was going to do it, so we had to join them. So is like Israel calling the shots on who the American military attacks now? If they are, I support it 100% because it's God's chosen country and the best country in the world, and I would love to live there one day. And it's my favorite, and it's the most moral army. We all know that. We all say that. We all love that. And I support them wholeheartedly. Let me in to the United States. I'm trying to get in there. Every day it looks less and less appealing, and more people ask me, "What are you doing?" I'm going to go to America. Everyone goes, "Why?" I want to tell jokes on stage. I'm sick of doing open mic comedy in fucking bars to people who haven't paid to be there that would rather talk to their friends where the comedy is a rude interruption. I'm sick of having to follow some non-binary person getting on stage and saying shit that they should only say to their therapist instead of telling jokes. Then I got to get up and be like, hey, by contrast, I look like a white supremacist. I'm sick of it. I want to go to a country that actually has comedy clubs and a circuit where I can go and get paid to do comedy instead of just getting to do it whenever I book my own fucking shows or having to go into the city and swallow my fucking pride and bomb in front of a bunch of people that don't like comedy and don't want it to be on. Anyway, I feel better. Do you feel better?